All right, Tim Adams, Chad Brindle, BearcatJournal.com. Tim, last one of the regular season, and to hit on last week briefly, I could sense your confidence level was shaken a little bit.
Absolutely.
I don't think you expected that, though.
No one could. It was shocking. I think the UC coaches are here today on Tuesday at the press conference. Players, we talked to them, and no one saw that coming. There was evidently no indicators. Obviously, if there is, you do something to try to avert it, but it felt like everything was in good order, but certainly it was just a disaster from almost the first play from scrimmage. It was a disaster from then on in, and the game was over essentially at halftime.
Yeah, we'll move on from that. I don't think anybody needs to rehash it anymore. East Carolina, final game of the regular season, chance to get to 7-5, and while a long way from where the expectations were at the beginning of the season, you'd feel much better about a 7-5 year than you would a 6-6 year, right?
I would, and I think that you have to also. We know that there are 80 bowl slots. We know that there are 71 bowl eligible teams right now, with another 19 that could be bowl eligible. We also know that in this league there could be 2 more teams that could be bowl eligible. One being East Carolina, the other being Tulsa beating Tulane at Tulane, which would give this league 9 bowl eligible teams if that happens out of the 12 teams in the league. But you can't get knocked out of a bowl if you're a 7-win team, but you can get knocked out if you're a 6-win team outside of whatever bowls are affiliated with your league. And there's not going to be, if there are 9 teams, there's not going to be enough bowls to go around with this league. So yeah, you want to be 7-5, and you want to go into the bowl game with a win rather than with the loss to USF and a loss on the road to ECU. But it's going to be a tough game. When I look at that ECU team, offensively, they've got some weapons. This was a team that I didn't think could overcome what they lost with Carden and Hardy, the receivers, and some of the other players they had.
And they lost their quarterback to fill in for Carden.
Yeah, they lost the guy right before the season.
Yeah.
I don't remember his name again, with a B, like Benzer or something like that. But anyway, they've got 2 quarterbacks right now. They've got James Summers, who actually joined their team right before the first game. They recruited him as a receiver, an athlete receiver, and he's sort of their running back or a quarterback, kind of a dual threat, but more of a runner than a thrower. And then they've got Blake Kemp, who's the lefty, who's more the thrower than the runner. And both of them have started some games, and both of them have played well at a time. Sometimes they've split duties. Last week, Kemp threw for 450 or 460 yards against UCF. So he's dangerous. Now, he's also thrown some interceptions. But he's got some weapons. Isaiah Jones on the outside is a very good receiver, one of the better ones in the country. Chris Hairston, their little running back, he's not bad. He's not going to be a 1,000-yard rusher probably this year, but he's going to be close. They've got a tight end named Williams, big kid with long hair. I think he's a little thin, but a lot of people say that he's an NFL prospect. They've got a left tackle, Ike Harris, who's been one of the better tackles in this league for the last 2, if not 3 years. So offensively, I think they're going to be a tough challenge, especially if you can't get to their quarterbacks, which Cincinnati has this year struggled to do.
Let's be honest, though. You could throw for 450 yards against UCF's defense.
Well, I get your point, but no, I could not. No, I could not. Defensively, ECU has some weapons as well. I think Zeke Bigger is one of the better linebackers in the AAC. Monteese Overton, who's out, he basically won. I think it was the SMU game. He had 4 sacks in that game, and they just couldn't block him. And I think he's got 7.5 on the year. He's one of the better pass pressure guys in this league. And then Hawkins, Josh Hawkins, a defensive back, cornerback for them, has a couple of interceptions. But they've got something. McGill, nose tackle's a nice player for them. But defensively, they lost some of the big guys. Fred Presley's back for them, playing defensive end. So they've got some guys there, but you hope that this Cincinnati offense gets back on track. And if they do, you hope they can protect who's ever back there and they can really exploit them offensively.
So what's your pick?
Well, I'm not going to make a pick. I don't like making them anyway, and then people get all, their nose out of joint on this thing. And I'm pretty much at the end of my rope on a lot of issues when it comes to our website. So I'm not going to make a pick. People can do whatever, think whatever they want, but I'm not making a pick this week.
All right. He's Tim Adams. I'm Chad
Well,
Brindle.
no, you're welcome to make a pick. It's just that I'm not.
I mean, you know East Carolina. You're more familiar with than I am. It's situation-wise, senior day. They're playing to be bowl eligible. East Carolina's going to have a lot to play for. I have to think this Cincinnati team shows some pride and picks himself up off the mat after what happened in Tampa. And if not, then things get really unsettled heading into the offseason in the bowl game. I mean, you would hope, win, lose, or draw, this game is a fight all the way to the end.
I think it's going to be a fight. I think we already had the debate about a comfortable margin of victory. I don't see that. I don't see anything logically that suggests that.
Right.
I've seen them play a bunch, and they're playing. The losses that they've had have been close to some good teams. They beat Virginia Tech. They're a team that is, I think, dangerous, and they're playing in that venue, and that's a tough place to play. Downey Ficklin Stadium is a tough place to play. So I think the Vegas odds is what UC's a 1-point favorite.
It's basically a pick 'em.
Yeah. So I mean, this is going to be a rough game, a tough game, and that's how I see it.
Yeah. 1-point favorite. I'll take the Bearcats by 1. I'll go with Vegas. Those guys are pretty smart.
They are.
If the line changes, so does my pick. He's Tim Adams. I'm Chad Brindle, BearcatJournal.com.